Hello students, a very warm welcome to you once again. In our today's video, let's try to take a look at the third question that has been asked this year. Now, take a look. Is patriarchy a key to understanding different forms of inequalities in Indian society? Please elaborate the given statement. When you look at this question, this has largely been taken from your part B or the social structure of society. So this question has been taken from paper 2, the part B that we are having, those questions which are associated to kinship and the bonds which are attached to it. Now this term patriarchy, what are you going to do in your introduction? You will be providing a very simple and a clear explanation. What is the meaning? So I will be providing the definition of what is the meaning of the term known as patriarchy. This particular term patriarchy, this is very important for you to know in the early days of your preparation. Why? Because the gender dynamics, how the women are being affected, what are the different kind of inflictions which are happening, how women empowerment is being stopped. All these problems are associated to one early traditional problem, and that is patriarchy. So what is the meaning of patriarchy? There is a sociologist, a feminist, her name is Geeta Chandra. She tells that patriarchy is basically an operation that men does on the women and the other genders. So in the introduction, you will be providing a simple definition of what is the meaning of the term patriarchy. It means domination of one gender on the women and the other gender. The other gender means transgender, LGBT community, etc. Now, reading the question once again, it is trying to ask that patriarchy is a key to understanding different forms of inequality. So what you are going to do in the content, you will be providing a deeper explanation. In this deeper explanation, you are going to be talking about how different forms of inequalities, they are being perpetuated. They are being established because of the patriarchal thought process. For example, when you take a look at how patriarchy is establishing different forms of inequality, the first inequality that we are having is on the basis of gender inequalities. So all the inequalities which are established where one gender is called to be as a better gender or a superior gender, that is the men, and the other it is called to be as an inferior, or they are referred to be as a secondary gender. This is one form of inequality which is being established. When we further go ahead, are there any other differences which are being established? Yes, there are inequalities which are being established, especially on the basis of religion. You take a look at all the mainstream religions all around the world. They are considered to be as a male affair. Anthony Giddens is a sociologist who comes and tells that religion is like a male affair. So whenever we talk about the God and his associates, they are all referred to be as male, and the women, they are considered to be as counterpart. So the religious inequalities, the differences, they are also being established on the basis of patriarchy itself. Not just the religion. If we talk about the phenomena such as how do you see the element of the political system? Now, even if we are staying in a democratic society, till now, the women, they do not have a very effective representation in the parliament. We do not have effective representation in the case of state assemblies. In the world's most practicing democracy, America, they till now did not have a woman as the president. So this represents that how the political inequalities is also being established on because of the religion, on because of the gender itself. So political inequalities which are being established, such as law, constitution, all, even though we have not started to implement 106th amendment, but that is also somewhere reflecting the political forms of inequalities associated to gender. On the other, if we talk about the aspect of economic systems, that women are being paid lesser than the male counterparts. So either they are not being given job, that is a direct form of patriarchy. Even if women are being given job, there is an aspect of unequal remunerations. That is a problem. Promotions will not come very easily to women. This problem is called to be as the concept of glass ceiling effect. So we are trying to highlight different forms of inequalities which are associated with the element such as gender based inequalities, is religion inequalities because of patriarchy, political inequalities, economic inequalities. Then I am also going to talk about, is everything, all the inequalities related to only patriarchy? So I can highlight, no, the inequalities which are established on the basis of racism, especially in the case of the Western world. This is not associated to direct patriarchy. The inequalities which are established on the basis of birth, such as casteism that we are having in Indian subcontinent. The inequalities that we are establishing on the basis of place of birth, such as regionalism, the inequalities that are being established on the cases of communalism, religionism. So here I am also going to highlight some patriarchies. So in the first half, when we are talking about it, if I say this is the part A and I say this is the part B, so in the first part, the inequalities are largely associated or they are attached to patriarchy. So here patriarchy is being well established. On the opposite side, I can say patriarchy is not directly unestablished. So I am going to disconnect this part. And then finally, in the conclusion, I am going to explain largely inequalities or differences or disparities. I am going to say largely inequalities, differences, disparities are largely the effect of patriarchy. But there are some inequalities such as this. There are some inequalities which are disconnected from patriarchy as well. So patriarchal inequalities and non-patriarchal inequalities, they both are effective. Patriarchal inequalities, non-patriarchal inequalities, they both are effective, they both are necessarily in understanding the social dynamics of society. So here we are having the question number 1C. We are having the question number 1C, which is explaining. So we have an introduction, content, and the conclusion. I would want you to go and see the model answer and take a look at this different points, cluster both the points and try to write a good 150 word mark.